What's up? This is Carnival. It's an acronym, COTE, Cote. I have no idea. I'm assuming it's supposed to be just the letters. This is off the album Themata, and this is coming from their official YouTube accounts. I've done a few songs from these guys. Loving them so far. Loving all of these prog rock, prog metal reactions that or suggestions that you guys are throwing me. So hey, keep them coming. I don't think this song was a suggestion, but I was just flipping through their Spotify stuff, and I noticed it was one of the top listens. So I'm just gonna jump right in. Again, this is Carnival, COTE. Here we go. Is that guitar in the background? Like, we obviously have this. Yeah. Interesting. No snare yet. There it is. Okay. Not what I expected out of that start. A lot of bass in the mix. Kind of thin guitar sound, but I mean, YouTube and this is an older song, that makes sense. Oh, we gotta turn it up a little bit. Ooh, I love that bass. And they kept a drum track in the very far back. Nice. I love the way that guitar sounds. Echoey. Ton of bass. Holy cow. Staying right here with the hi-hat. Kind of an interesting snare sound too. I associate this snare sound with some of those kind of reggae rock bands, like 311. And just the way the snare sounds, and not anything else musically. Got some synth stuff in the background, like some kind of bubbly stuff. Back into these big chords. I love how much the bass is carrying the mix right now. Man, that sounds good. Ton of energy in this. Ooh. I like that little change of the riff there. Just keeping the bass right there. That was a fun chorus. Yeah. Now we're doing this instead of hi-hat. The synth actually does add a lot to this song. Is there a lead guitar hidden way back there too? Just doing some kind of high notes that are ringing out. Like, we obviously have a big chord still. Yeah, there's definitely a lead guitar tucked way back there in the chorus. And now we're getting acoustic, okay. And strings. Okay. Nice solo, huh? I love this kind of a driving backbeat behind a solo. Still a ton of bass. Short solo, if you even want to call that solo. Dude, the riffing in this song, holy cow. It's not crazy, it's just, it sounds fantastic. pacing too. Nice. Back to this. I just feel like I'm kind of like floating through something with that synth stuff in the background. And just the little tings here. Building. Yeah, there's definitely a lead guitar in this chorus that you can't hear much. Nice. I'd be just going nuts in a show with this part. Nice. Fade out. Wow, that was great. One of the better songs I've heard from these guys, just flat out. And again, it wasn't even a recommendation. I'll have to check out more from this album. This is Themata. I think this might be their first album, but a lot of stuff that I like there. So one of the first comments I made was the fact that the guitar tone was thin, and some people may think that that's a complaint. It's not at all. I think it's just kind of obvious to somebody who listens for that kind of stuff, and especially somebody who's coming from like modern metalcore background where everything is low tuned and like bass heavy. It's something I point out almost every time I hear it because it's different, and sometimes it does detract from the song. In this case, I don't think it did at all. I wouldn't say that it helped, but it certainly is just a stylistic choice that they made. And, the other things that they were doing with the guitar, I mean, this was obviously a pretty riff heavy song. They, in the chorus, just those huge, heavy chords, and, switching it up enough where, that didn't get old. The verse was not all just, straight chords, and like straight power chords, like not a whole lot of, variants. So that kind of thing is awesome. I like where they don't just rely on that. They can do that, which they clearly did during this, the chorus. And it was perfectly fine. I might have complained if they would have done that, just kind of, very straight power chord stuff the entire time, but there was enough in here where it wasn't a complaint. It just added to how awesome that chorus was. And I did make a couple of comments about it. I'll come back to it later, but, as a whole, the way that riff fit into everything that was going on, it was phenomenal during those choruses. I would have taken more of that. There was a kind of a noodly lead track in the chorus as well. Definitely in the second chorus, maybe in the first one. I mean, it was just so hard to hear. Again, this is YouTube, so who knows about the production quality and stuff like that, but it wasn't very far up in the mix, I could tell you that. The tone of the I think there was, let's see, the tone change. I mean, I already talked a little bit about how I thought it was a little bit thin, but overall it sounded good. They went acoustic at one point. That was pretty cool. And only for a brief point, I believe, if I remember right. And so, clearly it wasn't a big part of this song. The bass work, man, I mean, the bass was very obvious right off the bat that it was a big part of this song. And even during those choruses where they were doing those huge power chords, I mean, the bass was still right up front of the mix, just underneath everything. I mean, I've used, the phrase, it's the foundation, or it's like carrying the mix several times in other songs. This is one of the best examples that I can think of recently, where that bass, not even necessarily what he was playing, but just the sound itself was very much so the foundation of everything else that was going on during those choruses, and I think during the verses too, if I remember right. And drum work, I'm trying to piece it all together because, I mean, that was such a great time that I'm having some trouble remembering exactly what happened. I think we heard at least one or two fun hi-hat grooves that were going on in there, and it was almost like I think it was like a swing pattern, like a 3/4, maybe 6/8 type of thing during the second chorus. It might have been during the first chorus too. and a lot of the chorus was spent, on the ride, which is awesome. I mean, it gives you that kind of feeling of just, I don't know, kind of like a lot of movement, a lot of energy, especially when he's keeping it like fast like that. It wasn't like a slow ting, like ding, ding, like quarter note kind of thing. It was mostly like eighths and sixteenths, if I remember right, based on how I pictured the counting to be going, which is good. Like I said, I think I mentioned earlier, or during the song, there was a ton of energy during those choruses, which is fantastic. I'm not a big chorus guy. I'm not a big like melody, like let's all join hands and sing along kind of guy. But I mean, I can still appreciate when those moments come out, especially when they're backed by everything else that's going on and it fits like contextually. And I felt like this was an awesome chorus. It worked fantastic, and especially the second one, the way they built up to it, and just the feeling overall. Quick note, I did kind of skip over the solo part when I was talking about guitar. It only lasted maybe 4 bars, 8 bars, a phrase, whatever you want to call that. I would have taken a little bit more of that, but it was cool that they singled it out for a little bit at least. And I like the fact that they kept the moving parts on top of that too. They didn't just kind of like strip it down to like a simple hi-hat thing. They kept the whatever counting he was doing for that riding crash, and they kept the bass as well. But it was pretty short. It didn't last very long, that little section. But overall, this was a lot of fun for this. Let's see, for Carnival, COTE. It's got to be up there with some of my favorite songs from these guys so far, which is saying something because I've heard some awesome songs from these guys up to this point. So thanks again for watching, and I'll be sure to be doing more of these in the future.